there's a great thing that happens.
Yeah, Storybook Theater presents
Yeah.
Uncle Mark Jeffers storytelling.
Yeah, Uncle Dave made a big fire, and Uncle Mark came, and the children were all ready, nestled right there by the fire. And then Uncle Mark, he told them some great stories.
Yeah.
And it was cold, and the stars were out, and it was really fun. And, well, hey, check it out, Calvin.
Yeah, boy, wow.
There are differences in the different kinds of stories, and I'm sure, children, you will discover that someday. One of you children asked me about a fairy tale, and that's usually a made-up story about a lesson. A folk tale is usually a story about, it comes from a place, and it usually tells how something came to be in a certain way. A legend is usually a story about a physical place, and a myth is usually the story of someone's religion. All right? Okay, so these turtles gathered all of their favorite foods, and they put them on their shell, on their back, to carry them. And they all started to move slowly out of the woods. And slow by slow, you know how slow turtles are. And slow by slow by slow by slow, they came down to the lake. And when they came down to the lake, they all put their food in the middle of themselves, and they gathered around, and they congratulated themselves on what a great picnic that this was going to be for themselves. So they're all looking at the food, all the limu and the worms and everything. But then, there was a moment of silence, a hush. Oh no! Somebody forgot the sour milk. Oh no! Oh, that was their favorite thing for dessert, was sour milk, and they had got it together, was all ready to go, but somebody forgot and left it. Oh no! What are we going to do? We can't have our picnic without sour milk. Well, I tell you what. All the turtles looked at each other, and there they saw the littlest turtle. And they looked at the littlest turtle, and they said, "Littlest turtle, would you like to go and get the sour milk?" Now, littlest turtle, children, was a little bit sensitive because littlest turtle was the littlest one, and she always felt like people picked on her. So she crossed her feet a little bit, and she said, "No, I don't want to go. I don't want to go." Well, you know, all the older turtles, they knew how to convince her and kind of tease her a little bit. "Why, littlest turtle? We know you would love to do us a favor. Why don't you want to go up and get the sour milk? You know how good it is for our picnic." "No, I don't want to go. You guys always ask me. I always have to be the one to go," said the littlest turtle. Well, some of the older turtles talked to each other. Now, they were very wise. They knew. Finally, they said, littlest turtle, we'll make you a promise. We'll promise that we won't eat any of this food until you come back with the sour milk. We promise. And when you come back, you can be the first one to eat some of the food. What do you think? You are the fastest. You're the fastest of the turtles. That's why we chose you. Well, littlest turtle said, "Do you promise that you won't eat the food? Do you promise?" Yes, they all said yes. Okay, well, the littlest turtle, as fast as she could, she started to walk. And you know how turtles are kind of fast, but they're mostly slow, right? And the turtle walked around and started to go up toward the forest. Well, the other two turtles knew that it was the bright sunshine, so they had to wait, so they went inside their shells. And they waited. Now, children, you yourselves, personally, are not great at waiting. We all know that. But turtles are great at waiting. Boy, can they wait. And they did. And they waited. And they waited. And they waited. Oh, were they good at waiting. They waited what seemed like all morning. In fact, it was all morning because it was almost lunchtime already. And they came out of their shells again. Hey, what the heck? What happened to littlest turtle? Littlest turtle should have been back here a long time ago. Hey, wait a minute. This is not right. Littlest turtle, she was supposed to bring back the sour milk. Well, we could eat our picnic, but we did promise that we would wait for her, so, well, I guess we'll just have to wait. She's probably just being slow. And so, children, the turtles went inside their shells again. And they waited. Now, turtles, even when they don't want to wait, they're very good at waiting. They waited and waited and waited and they waited. They waited some more and waited almost into the afternoon, almost until dinner time they waited. Oh! And finally around dinner time they came out because they were starting to feel hungry. They came out of their shells. What? Where is Littlest Turtle? Do you believe this?
No.
Hard to believe. Littlest Turtle, something must have happened to her. Maybe she was eaten by an animal. Or maybe she was run over or something like that. Oh, poor Littlest Turtle, but she hasn't come back with the sour milk. What are we going to do? Well, we should probably just go ahead and eat and then go back home because, well, we're hungry and all of that. No, said some of the turtles. We should wait because we promised to wait for her. We promised. Well, children, the sun was almost going down. It was almost the entire day. And those turtles had waited almost an entire time. And finally, when the sun was almost going down, they came out of their shells and said, well, something has surely happened to Littlest Turtle. And so I think we should probably go ahead and eat the food at this picnic. And so, children, they all started to move toward the center, where the limu was, but the sun had made it very small. And the worms, and they were almost dried up, and all the other great food that those turtles were looking forward to eating, they started to move to what was left of the food. They had waited so long. And at that moment, when they started to move toward the food, from a bush that was close by, Littlest Turtle poked her head out of the bush, and she started to move quickly toward the others who had been moving toward the food. And then she said, see, I knew you wouldn't wait. I knew you wouldn't wait. And that is the end of the story.